Baby boomers like to pretend that millennials, their children, invented family estrangement, which is on the rise. But it's just not true. Long before millennials were born, estrangement within families was happening. And I'm going to tell you how. Welcome to Misfit Grit. This is a channel where I talk about how to live in resistance. And living in resistance means that we are doing our very best to disengage from all things harmful. That means to ourselves, to each other, as well as the planet, and every creature that lives here. This includes family estrangement, right? Because those of us who have chosen to estrange ourselves from our family members, we know that it's for our own well-being, or perhaps the well-being of our children if we have them. This is not a new concept. It's just become more accessible to understand and name with the internet, right? We have lots and lots of channels and information, and we can connect with one another and support each other in the estrangement, and it's just not something that was accessible in previous generations. However, a person being estranged from their family was really common and still is in the baby boomer generation. They just don't necessarily have the language or the self-awareness to understand that that's what they're doing. Now, I'm going to be a little bit critical of the baby boomers, as any millennial is, and I want to say that you're not all like this, but it is the majority. Self-awareness is extraordinarily low in this generation. Millennials aren't knocking it out of the park by any means at all, but we're doing a little bit better. Baby boomers have been estranging themselves from their siblings and their parents and all kinds of members of their family for a long time. They just didn't call it that. They would get into little arguments or tiffs, maybe over money or power or trying to control someone. And they would just be like, I'm not talking to my sister for 10 years because she's being a real bitch. Something like that. It's really common. And if you go and you look through the family lineage of adults who are estranged from their adult children, so the boomers primarily, although other generations are experiencing it too and will continue to, if you look through that family lineage, what you're going to notice is, oh yeah, dad's been estranged from his sister for like 30 years. They hardly speak. Or, yeah, we never met that side of the family. I wonder why. Or, yup, when my parents got divorced, that new stepmom, she made sure that nobody could talk to this other side of the family anymore, right? It's been existing forever. Nobody called it that, though. People were just seen as having an argument, or somebody was seen as difficult, or there was a reason why we didn't talk to them because they weren't good enough. It takes a relatively high level of self-awareness to even understand that you are estranging yourself or are estranged from a family member. People with low levels of self-awareness will just be like, we don't get along, or they won't even talk to me and I don't know why. I've tried everything and they're just such a jerk. They don't understand their role to play in this dynamic. In fact, when a family member chooses to go very low or no contact and the estrangement is happening, it's because we have tried everything we possibly can, every tool that we have at the time to be like, hey, this isn't working for me. I'm in a lot of pain when I'm around you. Things hurt. And I really want this to get better because I don't feel good when I'm around you. And family isn't supposed to hurt, right? That message is completely ignored. We're told that we're the problem, we're difficult, we are too sensitive, we shouldn't put our nose in where it doesn't belong, we're hurting someone in the family, how could we say such a thing? They've done everything for us. I mean, if you've been through this, you've heard all of this and more from your parents, your siblings, your aunts and uncles, maybe your grandparents, anybody. Or you just get iced right out and nobody will even speak to you anymore. These are people who maybe 6 months ago would have told you how much they love you and they just want the best for you and the family. but they actually don't. What they don't want to do is address the underlying issues that run through families for generation after generation after generation. They just get kind of churned out in a different way in the next generation. And millennials were the one who said, the buck stops here. I'm done. Now, millennials are in a really unique position basically throughout all of history, human history. We are the first generation ever that our parents are living as long as they are and existing in the same space for as long as they are with us. People used to die in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and if you made it past that, wow, you were doing really, really well. Now, thanks to heart medication and medical advancements, people are living decades longer. People who have lived very unhealthy lifestyles are living decades longer. This is a challenge for us because we have been dealing with a lot of the toxicity of our family for decades, clearly, and it just keeps going. There really isn't an end to it, whereas before, your parents passed on, there was an end to it. Now it would get, the cycles continue with maybe your siblings or something like that, but it ended quicker. Millennials are now sharing the world with their parents longer than any other generation ever has. And a lot of us just can't do it in the way that we wish we could. We wish we could share that space with our parents, but after, 30 years, it's been tough. And if we want to break that cycle, if we want to do better for our own children, if we want to really dig deep and say, what the heck's been going on in this family? What are these patterns that I'm seeing? We often have to disengage from our parents who are still continuing to live. Meanwhile, they are also becoming frailer, in poorer health. Their level of entitlement often goes very high, expecting that we are to take care of them for not just a few years, as perhaps would have happened in previous generations. Now it's decades. We are expected to take care of them through the very, very long, slow, and undignified passing that many Americans are going through. Now, this problem can be exacerbated by a person's own siblings as well, trying to guilt the family member to come back because what they're doing is hurting mom and dad. And how could we do such a thing? Now, remember, not all millennials are interested in disengaging from their toxic families. In fact, many are just fine to perpetuate those cycles. They change the face of it a little bit, the flavor, but it's the exact same thing. And once you see it, once you're someone who's done the work and you understand these dynamics in the family, you cannot unsee it, ever. And so for a person's own protection, we know that we gotta stay the hell away as long as possible. So if you ask a baby boomer if they've ever been estranged from a family member, they're probably going to say no. And if you ask them the last time, well, hey, when's the last time you saw your brother? Maybe it's been over a decade. Maybe it's been a really long time. They're probably going to say, I have a fine relationship with him. It's fine. I don't need to talk to him at all. Everything's fine. Right? There's a very high level of repression and a very low level of self-awareness. So they just don't understand that they themselves are doing it too. They can't name it. It's so important for us, those of us who are the change agents, the transformers in a family lineage. It is something that we are called to do. It is so important that we understand what we're dealing with. That when we get mobbed on or the flying monkeys come, we get it. We can nail our feet firmly to the floor and we can say, I know my truth. And I know that I am changing this because I do not want to keep living in the way that I was raised. Because it hurts me and it hurts others. And if you're a person who's committed to stopping the hurt in the best way you can, I applaud you. And there's a huge community of us out there. And thanks for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. I talk about all kinds of ways that we can disengage and resist toxic systems, and we can liberate ourselves and be whole, actual human beings, not crushed into little abusive cycles and boxes that we feel trapped in. There is a way out, and it's a lot better with friends. So thanks for watching, and take care.